Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. As part of a big news today, we'll be discussing a very important and very interesting topic, which is the SCO and the Belt and Road Initiative. The two interact with each other in a very interesting way. Before we begin, as always, a very important announcement for you that we have our prelims test series, which will be starting from 6th November at 9:30 a.m. This exam is both online and offline. You can go to any of our offline centers, give the exam, and then there will be a discussion by our teachers about the questions, and we'll also take your doubts. This is both in Hindi and English, and all you need to do is just to register in the link given in the description below. And the first test, which is 6th November and 13th November, full course test and polity are free of cost. You can go and just register yourself and give this examination. I hope that you are doing it because it's a very important part of your preparation. With this, let's look at the topic in hand today, which is the SCO, or the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And the context of this big news is that there was the 21st meeting of the heads of government of member states of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We'll discuss what it is, who are the member states. But the most important aspect here is that our foreign minister was present in this 21st meeting, and this meeting is happening at a very important juncture, or a very interesting juncture in world history, because you have the third term of Xi Jinping, which has been now confirmed. And what we saw was that he is now becoming more and more aggressive within the Communist Party itself. What he did to Hu Jintao is very, very interesting, because at the end of the day, within the Communist Party, he is removing the old timers and filling these seats with all his loyalists. At the same point of time, Russia and Ukraine are at war at this point of time, which has created a lot of chaos in the world. Energy inflation, the whole world as of right now is seeing energy inflation because of Russia's action in Ukraine. So the SCO, because it includes Russia, China and India along with Pakistan, these four being at the same forum becomes a very interesting point, very interesting juncture in our history itself. So what is the SCO? The SCO is a permanent intergovernmental international organization, came into existence in 2001, and the SCO is interesting because it includes a very interesting group of countries in that regard. It's a Eurasian political, economic, military organization which aims to maintain peace, security and stability, but it's an economically oriented organization, and the member states include China, Pakistan, India, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan and Russia. So it's a very interesting group of countries because Pakistan, China, India and Russia are in the same forum. Russia and China and India and Pakistan is a very interesting grouping in itself, with Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan being here means that it's a Central Asian grouping, and it's a very important grouping when it comes to our aspirations in Iran, in Chabahar, and generally what we want to do in the Central Asian and West Asian world. So what did the foreign minister push in this meeting itself? What he pushed was two things. First is that he argued that the SCO members, the trading capacity is much bigger than just $141 billion. He argued that with free market access and fair market access in that regard, this can be made 3 to 4 times more than what it is right now. So what he is arguing is that the major trade right now which is happening within the SCO partners is India and China, which is close to $100 billion. Therefore $41 billion with the other nations makes no sense. So what he is pushing is that we need to come together within the SCO to make it a more economically relevant organization. And what he said was that we should be using the Chabahar port, which is a port which was developed by India itself, a very important port created vis-a-vis Gwadar being a part of the CPEC, which we will discuss. And Chabahar can be a node for everything happening in Central Asia for India itself. And what India also pushed is another organization, which is the International North-South Transport Corridor. And what he argued was that if we use INSTC, we would be able to increase the trade manifold in that regard. And when we talk about the International North-South Transport Corridor, it's a corridor which uses no new port. However, it uses the old channels in a better way, from Mumbai to Bandar Abbas via Moscow to St. Petersburg. And on the other hand, this is the railroad link. The other link which we are pushing for is via the Suez Canal, going through the Mediterranean via the English Channel to again St. Petersburg. So this is called the International North-South Transport Corridor, and this is what India has been pushing. If not Bandar Abbas, we have another port here which is Chabahar. The basic point is using the trade and the road links within Central Asia using the Caspian Sea itself, along with Mediterranean, the Suez Canal and the English Channel. We want to create an alternative to the Belt and Road Initiative, which we are coming to. So basically, the relevance of this meeting, why are we discussing it here, is because India has been pushing and has again pushed the fact that SCO can become much bigger than what it is. It needs to harness fair and free trade, and that includes how Pakistan is acting with us today. And more than that, the fact of the matter is that Chabahar has the potential to become the node for Central Asia itself, and the presence of China and Pakistan in the same forum becomes even more significant, because these ports and these corridors technically in a way exclude Pakistan and China. Therefore, our foreign minister was very bold and very straightforward in saying that the SCO needs to harness the power of the international north-south transport corridor and become better. But what is even more interesting, and this is why it becomes a very relevant meeting, is what he said about the Belt and Road Initiative. When we talk about the Belt and Road Initiative, which is part of the One Belt One Road, OBOR, which is the One Belt One Road Initiative, and we call it the Belt and Road Initiative also. The Belt and Road Initiative is China's master plan for connecting the world via a historical concept of the Silk Route. So they say that there's a maritime Silk Route and there's a standard Silk Route which is via Central Asia itself, and the project includes building networks of railways, roadways, maritime ports, power grids, oil, gas pipelines, and associated infrastructure. The One Belt One Road Initiative, or the Belt and Road Initiative, is being used by China for debt imperialism, in a way that China is stuffing money into Pakistan, into Sri Lanka, into Kenya, into different parts of Africa, therefore creating so much debt that these countries have no capacity to pay them back. But what is the bigger problem with the Belt and Road Initiative is that it is trying to encircle India, which is that they are trying to make ports in and around India, and the maritime Silk Route and the Silk Route itself, the Silk Route Belt Initiative itself, is created as an antithesis to India itself. Now, what our foreign minister has pointed out is that connectivity projects should respect sovereignty and territorial integrity of the member states and respect international law. And India has refused to be part of the BRI because of the way certain projects are being implemented in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Central Asia. And the bone of contention is technically the CPEC, which is China Pakistan Economic Corridor. And the problem here is that technically China wants to link its most western province with Gwadar port via Gilgit and Baltistan. And Gilgit and Baltistan is an integral part of India, and without the consent of India itself, China and Pakistan have agreed to make a road via Gilgit and Baltistan sector, and this is technically an infringement on our sovereignty itself. So the Belt and Road Initiative since the beginning has been a contagious issue for India itself, because of the fact that how CPEC is being implemented. So before we end this session, I would like to give you a basic summary, and the summary is that the Belt and Road Initiative remains a major bone of contention between India and China at this point of time, with Pakistan in between. China is trying to encircle India via different concepts, strings of pearl, the concept of maritime Silk Route, but India has been able to find alternatives to the BRI via the international north-south transport corridor, or be it the Chabahar port. The meeting itself becomes important because of the context in which it is happening: Russia, Ukraine, Xi Jinping's third term. And at the end of the day, the SCO will always remain an organization which is controversial, because at the end of the day, Pakistan, China, Russia and India are on the same forum, and the CPEC as of right now has become redundant because of the activities of the Pakistanis themselves, and Pakistan itself is struggling because of the debt imperialism of China itself. But the point of the matter is, in its core, in its principle, it defies, it denies, and in a way it jeopardizes the sovereignty and integrity of India, which India will never accept. We have never accepted it, we will never accept it in the future also. So in a way, the Belt and Road Initiative is an infringement on Indian sovereignty, and we will never accept it in that regard. So for the purpose of the examination, remember the Belt and Road Initiative, it gives us an opportunity to revise them. Belt and Road Initiative, international north-south transport corridor, and at the end of the day, the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a very relevant organization but has not grown to its potential. With this, I would like to end the session. Thank you so much for your patience. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.